Right, what I'm doing now is I'm taking the cage back out because I'm starting to get dents on the roof. I need to get the cage further forward, but it's so tight here. And to get to it, I've had to take all the front bit out. I might chop that there. I've got to be so careful I don't go through the roof. And see if I can bend it up a bit. When I did the compact cage, it was so tight that this was really in the way. So I spoke to Hockley, who provided the cage, and they said, no, you can take that out when you put the cage in. I don't really want to take this one out, but this is the only place it interferes. So if I can just cut this bit out, so I'll give that a go with the grinder. The feet are going to come slightly further forward than that. I cannot get this cage any further forward than it is. These can go, I can get these forward a bit more. I'd rather spend an extra day mucking about, getting building boxes, and rather than just welding a plate to where it is, I'd rather bring it all forward, get it as close as I can to the front, and in that way, it's going to make it easier. The further forward I can get this bar, even if it's like 20 mil, it's going to help getting in and out. I mean, it might not be an issue, but that's not a big gap to get through. I think my navigator will be all right. I think I might have to start yoga. It's getting in and out. I've got a steering wheel that's going to be in the way. Right, so I'm going to chop this bit here and see if we can get any more movement on that. Right, I've managed to bend it up enough to get the slip tube on, but I think I'm going to struggle getting a knot on the end. I think I have to move the cage back a bit to get this bit up. I'm trying to sort of pry it up, but I've got to be so careful because there is a couple of dents in the roof already. I don't know if that's from me putting the cage in. Yeah, if I move it back anymore, these front bits are going to fall down, and which doesn't matter. I might. It's just more work, and taking them out, putting them back in again. But this will make life a bit easier. I think this is what's been causing a lot of problems getting it forward. So I think I will take those out rather than see them fall out. Everything's a bit sort of propped up here and is going to fall down. So yeah, a bit more. I need to get some of the junk out as well. I've given it a quick clear out with all the tools and everything because it was getting a bit cluttered. I've started cleaning up where the welding's got to go for the cage plates. And that side and that there. So I don't know if that's going to be enough, but the idea being I'm going to put the cage back together again and see if I can get it forward more. Now I've cut the top out, and once it's in exactly the right place, then I can start tacking things in or clearing up more where I need to take more paint off. So that's the next stage. I've got the cage just about where I want it. I can go down a bit and a bit further forward, but then it starts getting a bit low at the top. At the moment, we're just about, we can't really go much further forward. But I thought I'd just try it with the seat in, and I can get in and out. It's not the easiest car to get in and out of, but yeah, it's doable. And plus, that seat is the passenger side seat that I've just put in place, and it's a bit of an angle. It's the right sort of position, but when I'm putting the other seat in, I can move it more central, more inwards, which will give me a bit more space. That'll be a bit more central to the steering wheel. So now I know that this is all fine, it all works, I can get in and out all right. Everything's probably the best place it can be. I've got to make the plates up now. So I just need to get a bit of card, cut it to shape, and then make it in steel. One thing that you need to watch out for is these base plates need to be 120 square centimetres, along with the rear ones. And yet the rear ones, which are there, are about 130, which is ample, but these are about 80 square centimetres. So Fortunately, I'll be making a boxing that comes down the side, but if this was going straight onto the floor, it wouldn't be big enough. You'd have to put another plate underneath it or extend this plate. So I'm going to extend this plate and bring it square to make a box, and that way it'll be welded along this side, across the bottom, across the front there. I'll put a piece in there to weld that. So if I can get that done, then that'll be brilliant, because that's the cage in. Obviously I'll have to make the steel bits, tack them in place, get all the cage out, and then fully weld them. Then I can paint them, and originally this bit was going to go over here, but there's no need. It doesn't. It's fine as it is there. So I've done all the bolts up nice and tight, so I know I'm not building the cage. I'm building the cage plates where they need to be, with the cage all secured and fitted. It's amazing that you put the boxes in, then take the cage out, fully weld it, and then nothing seems to fit. So hopefully this will give it the best chance of fitting. And the back bits just drilled through the wheel tubs once this is all in, so I've left them off just to make it easier to move this one about. All right, let's get some card cut. Once we've got the seat in here, in the sort of position where I want it, these are eyelets to hold the harnesses, and they've got to have this plate at the back, reinforcement plates, as part of the regulations. So I've marked under the seat, the harnesses will go down about here, so as long as they're slightly at an angle, I've marked the floor where I can drill 2 holes and have 2 eyelets there. And the original seatbelt hole is in the right place on this side. Bearing in mind the whole seat is going to go over that way slightly, and then I can transfer that onto the gearbox tunnel. I'll pull the seat out and show. These are the 3 templates to go around the front lateral foot of the roll cage. So I've made them out of card, and now I'm transferring the outline onto the 3-wheel steel. These are brilliant, these things. They're for taking paint off, but they're quite good at cleaning up the rust as well, because you just get surface rust when it's in the garage. So I'm going to cut these 3 out, and then I'll tack them together, make sure it's all where it should be, and I can fully weld them then. Right, I've cut the steel. That's it. I'm just holding it in place. I'll have to put a bit down the bottom so I can weld this part of the plate. So I think I'll leave that like it is, get the other end done, and then get it tacked in, and then fully weld it once I've tacked it all in position, and then work out the back ones. Oh, I've just tacked the boxings on, so I can take the whole bottom, undo the bolts, take the whole bottom bit off, weld it completely inside. I've got to still put a piece in there, and then I'm going to do the other side now. It's not a very nice day, it's pouring down, so I'm outside getting wet. I'll get the other one tacked so I can get all the welding gear inside the garage. Well, that's a fully welded box, so done inside and outside. I'm going to place it on the cage so I can make sure I've got all the paint off the floor. Obviously I've got to weld it all the way around. I'm having a few problems with my welder. It's been a bit of a nightmare with the wire feed and ran out of wire, so I've got to get that sorted out really. I think it might be time to get a new one. I've had that quite a while. Right, they're done. I've just given them a bit of a clean up. This is all being bare metalled, so I'm going to give it a coat of primer, weld through primer, let that dry, weld it in, and then I can fix the fronts where they need to go, and then concentrate on the backs. The backs won't be as much, I don't have to make any boxes or anything. I've got the, just drill the holes and put the plates in. Right, we've got, it's a bit miserable, but it's actually stopped raining for a minute, so I've just pulled the welder outside. I've put a couple of blobs on it just to hold it in place. So now this is solid and the other side's the same. So I can mark out the holes for this and drill them. Then I can take everything apart, strip it all, put the plates on at the bottom, which is going to move it up 3mm, which hopefully won't be an issue, and then tack them in place. Right, I've got to make some space, get rid of some of this clutter, and hopefully it'll stay dry for a bit. Right, what I'm going to do, I don't know if you'll be able to see me. I'm going to wrap it up there and make that the end of the video, because otherwise it's just going to go on and on and on. And I've got, I'm sort of doing this in between doing a diff on the other car. So I'm trying to get this done. I've got a couple of months for the other car, but I'd like to get the bits ordered. That's why I've got the diff out and doing that. Anyway, that's a different car. Hopefully, what I don't want to do is a bit of welding video and all that. So hopefully the next video will be the cage in. It should be all done and finished, and then we can start on the seat rails, mud flaps, tank guards, electrics, bits and pieces. They're all little jobs, but they all can take a bit of time as well. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.